one. Good afternoon. My name's Jason. This is my second speech. It's going to be a demonstration speech. Today I'm going to demonstrate how to cook a steak properly. Who thinks cooking a steak is hard? Anyone? A couple of them. Alright, today I'm going to show you that it's not as hard as you think it is in 3 steps. Those 3 steps are going to be gathering cooking items, preparing and tenderizing the steak, and then cooking the steak. And eating the steak was left off there because you guys can handle that later. This is my way of cooking steak. I've used it just over the years. Little things added here and there, no big deal or anything. So first, we're going to gather all the items for preparing and cooking the steak. You're going to need a meat thermometer, plate, a cutting board, and depending on which way you want to marinate or tenderize your steak, a tenderizing mallet, a little dish for your marinade, a brush, knife, and your grill. So the first thing I like to do is start the grill. That way it can be heating up while I'm getting everything else ready. Second thing is gathering all the utensils, which I just pointed out to you. And the third thing is unpacking the steak. Now, when you're getting a steak, I've chosen the ribeye steak. And when you're looking for a steak, you want to make sure it's got a nice marbling to it, even marbling. So that marbling is the fat, and you want it spread out throughout the steak. Once you've got all your items and you're ready to start, you want to prep the steak. And to do that, first, like I said, you want to look for a good marbling. You want to look for a good steak. It's going to be nice and tender. And then second, you're going to want to tenderize it, because even the most tender steak when it starts out will slowly become a brisket as you're heating it up on that grill. There's 2 ways to do that. You can either use the tenderizing mallet like I just showed you, or you can use a marinade that will tenderize it as it's sitting. The one I have chosen is a Jack Daniel's marinade, and usually I like to put the steak in it and let it sit overnight in the fridge so it tenderizes that as it sits overnight. But you don't need to do that. You can leave it in there for just a couple hours and it'll be nice and tender when you throw it on the grill. There's also several different kinds of marinades. You can either make your own marinade. You can buy one from the grill like I did from the store, or you can just use a rub or salt and pepper. It depends on your taste. Alright, now we're on to the last step. That's cooking it. Now you want to make sure your grill's good and hot. And then you're going to take the steak out of the bag. And set it on the grill. You know the grill's at the perfect temperature as long as it's sizzling like that when you first throw it on there. Now, steaks tend to dry out as you're cooking them, so I like to take extra marinade while it's on the grill and add it to it as it's cooking. You're just going to let it sit for 3 to 4 minutes, or depending on the temperature of the grill, just a couple of minutes. But the biggest part to tell how long you're going to leave it on there is you're going to lift it up, and when it's a nice golden brown color on the bottom, then you can flip it over. And I'm going to just flip it this one now, save a little time. Once I flip it, I add more marinade to the side that's already been cooked because it's already cooked all the marinade off of it. At this point, I will let that sit for probably 5 minutes. And to check to see if that's done, use a meat thermometer. Most of them already have a mark on it to show whether it's rare, medium rare, well done, whichever taste you want. And to use this, just poke it into the meat after it's been sitting for long enough. Wait for the temperature to rise, and when it says that it's at whatever desired temperature you want it to be at, it's done. So, anyone think that it's hard to cook a steak now?
No, not at all.
No? Alright. It's easy enough to cook a steak. We did that in 3 easy steps. We gathered all the cooking items, which there isn't very much of. We prepared and tenderized the steak, which doesn't take much work. It just takes long time for it to sit. And then we cooked the steak, which takes up to 10 minutes on a good grill. And this is what you get when you're done. Hopefully it looks like that. Any questions? All right. Thank you for your time.